Hey everybody, welcome to Moyna Bass Fishes. I'm Jim Moyna, professional bass angler, even though the bass don't really think so sometimes. In this video, we're going to talk about something I kind of teased a few weeks ago. And goes back to the Champions Tour tournament on Lake Largemouth where I was practicing there. I observed a behavior of the bass that I really was completely unaware of. And I don't know if it's unique to that chain of lakes, probably not. But it's something I haven't, like on this lake here, my home base, I've never seen it here, ever. And I fish out here quite a bit. So what is that behavior? Well, first of all, the only reason why I know this is happening is because of my Lowrance active target, the forward sonar. Without it, I never would have known this was going on. So what I was seeing was, I guess let's just start with what my traditional belief was. Okay, in all our natural lakes in Minnesota, I was under the belief, now this is specifically for largemouth, I was under the belief that our largemouths really didn't suspend or wander away much from cover, meaning they don't wander away from grass beds, they don't wander that far away from, maybe there's some rocks that are a rock pile. They really don't run around chasing bait in the open. Well, my Lowrance active target just blew that idea out of the water on Lake Largemouth, because there, I was seeing schools of bass. They might be 30 yards off of the weed bed, but the weed line might be 25 feet, and these fish might be 10, 15 feet down. And they were actively chasing, they were actively hunting, because I don't think it really mattered what bait I threw at them, they would bite it, whether it be a swim bait or a chatter bait or whatever. Now, these schools weren't like, I didn't like run into these like over the place. And it was specifically, it seemed like it was more of an early morning occurrence. So perhaps these fish are on the hunt at sunrise, and then eventually they settle into their hiding places in the weeds. That's what I'm kind of going with. That's what I'm guessing. Although I did see a couple midday schools doing this. But typically, if it was during the middle of the day, that was a smaller grade, a smaller size of fish. These schools that I found early in the morning consisted of some of the quality fish that you can find on the Largemouth chain of lakes. So I'm talking like 2.5 to 3. These were 2.5 to 3 pound fish, some of them. So nice size fish for that chain of lakes. And I never would have known this if it wasn't for the forward sonar, the Lowrance active target that I have on my boat. So, and I don't know what to do with this, because on this lake I don't ever see it. But let me just make a note of something. Out here, I typically don't go fishing at sunrise on this lake. I'm typically afternoon or the last couple hours of the evening. That's kind of what I do out here, in which I just can't help it. But I'm gonna have to get in that Ranger boat right there, powered by Mercury. I'm gonna get in that boat and mess around here for we probably got about 2 hours of light left. So anyways, and I don't know what to do with this. Now that I know this, I didn't see, when I was at the Whitefish chain, that's another, the Largemouth chain, it's clear bodies of water, natural bodies of water. So like on the Whitefish chain, those were clear bodies. That's a clear body of water, natural body of water. Why didn't I see this behavior there? Why don't I see it on this lake? Why didn't I see it at Rush Lake, which happens to be a really, really algae bloom type of lake, completely different type of lake than the Largemouth chain, but you know, I didn't see it there. Why is it just at Largemouth chain? It's kind of a mystery to me, and I don't know when I'll ever get that figured out either, because I don't know when I'll be back to that chain. But it was just a really cool thing. It really broke my ideas, or really just kicked, you know, just completely, you know, blew out of the water something that, you know, a rule of thumb that I held very strongly. Um, so anyhow, that's what I just wanted to bring to your attention. If Now, I know on reservoirs they do this all the time, where they're chasing shad and that kind of stuff. Um, but on the Largemouth, there must be some kind of minnow that they're chasing out there, I guess. If you know, if you fish Lake the Largemouth chain and you know some details on this that I don't, I would love to hear about them in the comment section. So, or maybe there's another lake. Maybe there's some other lakes here in Minnesota where you see these largemouths just schooling up and just hunting out in open water for bait. Smallmouths do that all the time. I see that. This lake's got smallmouth and largemouth. So we don't have a ton of smallies in here, but I do see them suspended off a cover, off a structure, and just kind of roaming around sometimes. And that's with, you know, I know that because that's what the Lowrance Active Target shows me. So that's a great tool to learn more about fish and what they're doing. That's for sure. And you'll catch more with that tool. Anyways, I look at this lake and I'm thinking, do I want to go largemouth or smallmouth this evening? I don't know. Last night I went largemouth, and they were like committing suicide practically. So I don't know. Anyways, that's all I got to say. Over and out.